a long time. But it culminated, they got to watch Krishna's Leelas. And ultimately Krishna delivered them and gave them pure devotional service. A few days later this month is Govardhana Puja. Perhaps the favorite most of all the Lord's Leelas. Nanda Maharaj was performing his annual traditional family worship of Indra with a great amount of food and other types of paraphernalia. And little Gopal was only 7 years old. He said, "Father, what are you doing? What is this sacrifice? Who is it for? What is the purpose of it? What do you hope to gain from it? I'm your son, so you should not keep any secrets from me." So Nanda Maharaj explained that my father and his father and his father, for generations we are doing this because we are cowherd men. We require grains, we require crops, because if there's not grass, the cows have nothing to eat and they will die. And if we don't have food, then we will not survive. We're farmers. We absolutely depend on rain. And rain is the gift of Indra. So every year we make this puja to offer our gratitude to Indra and also to satisfy Indra so that he will provide rains. Krishna replied, first he spoke the Karma Mimamsa philosophy, which is quite technical actually. But in essence he said, if you do good, you get good karma. If you do bad, you get bad karma. And demigods, all they can do is supply you the reactions to your karma. So if we're good people, then Indra has to give us rain. And if we're not good people, he doesn't have to give us rain. So what do we need this Indra for? Actually, our cows are depending on the grass that grows on Govardhan Hill. So we should, and the Brahmins, if we please the Brahmins, they are so close to God, then God is pleased. And then the demigods have to give you whatever you want. So let's take all this paraphernalia for Indra and worship the Brahmins, the cows, and Govardhan Hill. Nanda Maharaj said, well, let's first worship Indra, then we'll do this. And Krishna said, no, let us do this immediately. And then Krishna gave very elaborate instructions of how to do. So they cooked huge feast, gigantic feast. Prabhupada describes, and Srimad Bhagavatam describes so many of the preparations. They made mountains and mountains and mountains of bhoga. They offered it to Govardhan Hill. And then Giriraj, Govardhan, personified himself as a gigantic, supreme, divine person. And Krishna, who was the same person as Giriraj himself, was on the ground and bowed down, and all the Brijavasis bowed down. And then Giriraj took all the offerings with his hands and ate them instantly. Mountains, lakes, kunds of different types of bhoga. And after he finished all of it, he wanted more. And very loudly he cried out, "Give me more. Aniyor." And there was nothing left. So then by Krishna's arrangement, he offered a tulsi leaf. And Giriraj said, "Now I am satisfied." Then Krishna led all the Brijabasis to circumambulate. They did full parikrama of Sri Giriraj. And then they did so many nice pujas. And meanwhile, Giriraj, whatever he ate, he returned it all. He manifested all those mountains and mountains and mountains of bhoga. Now it was Mahaprasad. And Krishna, under his instruction, Nanda Maharaj and the others distributed it to everyone without discrimination. Everyone had feasts of prasad. The Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, the animals, the monkeys, the cows, the peacocks, the deers, everyone was fed prasad. It was a wonderful, joyous festival. Everyone was so happy, except Indra was not happy. He was because she's a devotee. He's a great devotee, Indra. Please don't offend Indra. Unless you really have a connection to Krishna. And then, if you have connection to Krishna, you won't offend Indra either. Indra was so angry. He called the Samvartaka clouds. These are clouds for devastation of the universe. You may be inconvenienced by the rain today. Nothing. This is just, it's just a little cloud from the Arabian Sea. But these clouds, Samvartaka clouds, within a matter of hours, they make the whole world into an ocean, one ocean. And Indra said, this talkative child, Krishna, due to his influence, Nanda Maharaj and the Brijabasis took all that was meant for me and offered it to this mountain. Destroy them. Torrents of rain started pouring down. Now, for us, rain comes in drops. There were no drops. They were pillars. Pillars of water. Massive pillars of water were pouring down from the sky. And the Brijabasis saw this. It was dark, lightning, thunder, like we've never seen. And everyone came running to Krishna. The Brijabasis had the cows in the front of them. They said, Krishna, it's very cold, and it's raining very hard, and Indra's very angry, and look, your cows are cold. And the poor cows, they were trying to cover their calves, and they were mooing in great pity. And the bulls, they were looking up at the sky, and they were very... And Krishna smiled. He said, follow me, I will protect you. And Krishna went to Govardhana Hill, and as effortlessly as a little child lifts a mushroom from the ground, he lifted Govardhana Hill. It made a tumultuous sound. Now at that time, Govardhana Hill was so high and so big that its peaks were piercing the clouds. It was like Himalayas in those days. Now, for internal, confidential reasons, it's been getting smaller. Krishna lifted that hill, and as he lifted it, he uprooted it from the earth. And effortlessly brought it over his head and balanced with the little finger of his left hand. He was still smiling. And he cried to all the Brijabasis, please come, bring all your cows and all your calves and all your family members and everyone else. Now look at Giriraj. He was so pleased by your offerings to him. He's become an umbrella. So everyone came under Govardhan Hill. 7 days and 7 nights they all remained under Govardhan with Krishna in this beautiful darshan of Giridhari, threefold bending form holding the flute, holding the hill. Every now and then he would play his flute. The cowherd boys were very afraid when he started playing his flute. Because they were thinking, we have seen the effects of Krishna's flute. When he plays his flute, solid matter melts and liquid becomes solid. So if he's playing his flute so sweetly that Govardhan Hill may melt in ecstasy and drown all of us. So some of them were saying, Krishna, please stop playing your flute. And other gopas were saying, no, Govardhan is a very sober person. Giriraj will not melt. He will protect us. This made all the different residents of Vrindavan, Krishna, just by his glances and his smiles, was fully reciprocating with everyone's love. 24 hours a day for 7 days. No one had to sleep. Everyone was fully nourished, fully enthused, just seeing that beautiful form of Giridhari. And his smiles and glances conquered their hearts with ecstatic love. They never wanted that rain to stop. Meanwhile, while they were in ecstasy underneath the hill, not a drop of water came in. Indra was over there, and he was just screaming at the Samvartaka clouds, harder, harder, harder. And after some days, those clouds were totally depleted and exhausted. They came to Indra and said, we give up. And Indra himself, personally, on his elephant, started shooting thunderbolts and bringing the highest possible winds, cyclones, hurricanes, tornadoes, everything, bashing against Govardhan Hill. And after 7 days of all that, Indra did not have the power to remove one leaf from a single tree of Govardhan Hill. He could not move even 1 centimeter, 1 grain of sand from Govardhan Hill. Nothing. And even the animals that were on top of Govardhan Hill were just having nice time. He couldn't even disturb them. The reason is because the tip of the little finger of Krishna was touching the bottom of that massive hill. And just from the tip of his finger, he was energizing, surcharging Giriraj with so much pleasure that nothing could affect him. Indra was humiliated because everyone's watching. Everyone's watching. 7 days. All of his personal powers, all of his most powerful representatives and servants, they couldn't uproot a single blade of grass from Giriraj. So he gave up. And he left. The sun came out. And Krishna was still smiling. He said, now the rains are ended, you could all go home. No one wanted to go home. But Krishna said, go home. You have duties to perform. So everyone left. The cowherd boys brought the cows. But then the cows looked back and they ran back and surrounded Krishna. They couldn't leave him. So with his glance, he was herding them out. And he placed the hill down just as it was, exactly before the storms. Krishna was inspecting to see how everything was around Braj Bhumi. And Indra, he realized he committed a massive offense. He went to his guru, Brihaspati, and said, "What should I do? I tried to destroy Vrindavan. Now I understand that Gopal is God. He's the supreme absolute truth. He's the personality of Godhead. Due to my false ego, I forgot. I was so caught up with anger." Brihaspati said, "Oh, very bad. You are a fool. You are really a fool." He said, "You cannot approach Krishna directly. You try to destroy him. Only if a devotee approaches him on your behalf will he forgive you. So go to his cows." So Indra went to Surabhi, mother of the Surabhi cows, and she took pity on him. And at Surabhi Kund, she went to Krishna and she said, "Indra," Krishna completely ignored Indra. He's a little cowherd boy. Here's the king of heaven. It's nothing. He ignored him. But then Surabhi said, "Indra is genuinely repentant for what he has done. Please forgive him." On the strength of Surabhi's love and compassion, Krishna forgave Indra. And he fell at Krishna's lotus feet, begged forgiveness, showing that we have all made so many offenses in our lives and in previous lives. But if someone who Krishna loves and someone who loves Krishna, a dear devotee, prays on our behalf, then Krishna will hear our prayers, forgive us and uplift us.